Get out here and fail a lot. All right, guys. I've been on a tear pretty much on YouTube, and I'll tell you why. It's because it's become more and more obvious to me that millennial men and zennial men, you guys have been convinced or coddled into being scared, fear-based. You're not wanting to take risks to the point to where you, let me see. You're being coddled and convinced that you don't need to take any risks to the point to where you're just sitting back, letting other men take all the opportunity. What am I talking about? In your 20s, you should be single, living off bread and water, working 16-hour days, living in a hovel in a big city, trying to move up. You should be working, learning, becoming an expert at your field, working 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, spending about 5 to 7% of your time with women, and then going to take risks. Yes, I mean risk. See, one thing that you notice, a lot of guys who talk about they're in business today, these guys are in side businesses. Remember the video I said, go all in? Understand something. If you're not willing to go all in on something, in my opinion, don't do it. Because halfway there, cross the road halfway and you're gonna get hit. Halfway is nothing. You would do better focusing 100% on becoming the best employee you can, or best whatever, than doing something halfway. Going all in, but what does going all in entail? That means going into debt. That means taking out loans. That means moving across the country. That means throwing caution to the wind and jumping. And then when you jump, you're gonna have to do what? You're either gonna have to fly or you're gonna crash. So what ends up happening? A lot of guys just stay on the cliff, stay on the mountaintop. And they're like, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm safe here. Yeah, but are you really? Because in your 20s, if you're playing it safe and you're competing against a guy like me who's out here taking risks, you're gonna look up and be 30 years old and you may have been promoted one time, maybe. And I'm working on my 3rd, 4th promotion. If we both came out of school around 22 or 23, I'm getting promoted every 2 years. I'm going to be looking to be on my way into mid-management by 30, fast track. Or you're gonna just be sitting there hoping that the work does it. That's another thing. Knock it off, man. If you think that just having great work is gonna be what it takes to get promoted, what have you learned? Haven't you learned that your boss, the people who run the companies, the organizations, they're not 5 times, 10 times, or 100 times smarter than you are. They just have more balls and took a risk. And the thing is, if you're not willing to take a risk, it's a fear of something. It's usually a fear of failure. You don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. Okay, well, that's how shit gets done. You want a guarantee. And guess what? Guarantees are low paid, low performance, low output things. Come on, man. In sales, do you want to go open a new territory that's never been worked before? Or do you want to go cold call, or do you want to go work a territory that's been worked to death? See, for me, I would say it depends. When I was in corporate sales, I always went where the money was. In Dallas, the downtown central business district, the CBD, no one wanted to sell downtown Dallas. If you ask them why, it's too competitive, too many competitors down there, too many big accounts. It's too hard. I would rather go out to the suburbs or this or that. And I said, you know what? It hasn't been worked by me. I said, I'll take it. Because I knew if I could get a foothold there, I could run the table because no one wants to be there. Long story short, I went down there, I had to make it work, and I figured it out. It worked so well that the VPs from marketing came in and said, how is this person selling in downtown Dallas? How is this person selling in Dallas? In the most competitive area and selling at a higher profit margin than anybody else. I figured something out that nobody else did. I delivered value. I was willing to take a risk. I was willing to put myself out there. I was willing to go for it all. If you're not willing to fail, if you're not willing to jump out there and go for it all, understand what you're doing. You're not willing to go for it all, just say, look, man, I'm just comfortable being right here in the middle. I don't want to go any further. And you'd be better off just dealing with that. But stop saying you want one thing that you're not willing to go for. You got to risk it all, guys. You got to risk it all and fail. If you're not failing, you're not trying. Peace.